All right, so there I was, just chilling, minding my business. The doorbell goes. Right, and it's the guy from Ultra. Yeah, the guy who actually owns Ultra. He came to personally deliver the Lone Peak 8s. Okay, fine, it was Royal Mail, right? Oh, the Lone Peak 8s. Now, I had these ones. I've got both of them, I just can't find the other one. This is the Lone Peak 7. This is a beautiful looking shoe.
Wow.
I want to tell you what they've done to this to give you the 8. Just an overview of it, because I haven't ran in it yet. And we're also going to touch on that, because look, starting in 2024, have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule when it comes to running? Essentially, I'm going to apply it in 2 ways. The first way, 80% of my runs are going to be easy, 20% of them will be hard. The second way I'm going to apply it, 80% of my runs are going to be on the road and the pavement, whilst 20% are going to be on the trails. Man's about to get serious, turn into an adventurer. I'll be running with one of those running vests with a little straw on the side going, oh yeah, man's going to go to UTMB, Courtney who? Okay, maybe not. Let's not get too excited. My name is Aubrey and I'm a runner. In this one, I'm going to go through an overview of Ultra's Lone Peak 8. Now look, I want to give you a few caveats, just so you don't waste your time. If you're looking for a serious runner's view on the Lone Peak 8, can I recommend this guy? Him. This guy's really good at reviewing Ultra shoes. I love the guy. I don't always agree with him, but I love the level of details and dedication he has into going detail, full review on Ultra running shoes. TD Miller. Check this guy out. So, let me just be honest with you right now. What is this shoe for? Ultra has designed this as one of their best trail running shoes. Whereas me, I don't run on trails. I've got perfect roads outside. That pavement looks good over there. I go to the park. I've got perfect routes. I don't run on trails. Once in a while I'll do, if I'm feeling all adventurous. However, I go on walks. And a lot of people that view my channel ask me for recommendation for shoes to walk in. If you're out in the city, my recommendations are always, and I mean always, Nike Invincible 3 Gel Nimbus 25. You can walk on those for 15 years without having to need to sit down. Okay, maybe not 15 years. But if you're out on walks with your family, in the woods, in all sorts of terrain, I struggle to recommend anything outside of these shoes. Just saying. The 3 things you need to know. Bang. Oh, look at that color though. Wait, let's go to this one. All right, 3 things you need to know. It's an Ultra shoe, and this is a 0 drop shoe, meaning the height is consistent all the way across. 25 millimeters in this one at the back, all the way to the front. As for the price, £130. That's not bad. Oh yeah, there's the dollar one. And in terms of the weight, I wear a 9.5 UK and it weighed in at 309 grams. Hey Siri, what is 309 grams in ounces? 10.9 ounces for the viewers across the pond. Okay, so let me give you an overview from the top, working our way down, and why I'm gonna love this shoe, especially going into spring and summer. Let's start with the heel. A big shout out to TD Miller for highlighting something. So normally, I was actually just gonna flag, if you look at the heel of the shoe, it's a heel tab that helps you put the shoe on. But in fact, there's not only a heel tab here, but there's also a tab on the tongue that when you're holding it and putting the shoe on, it actually works wonders. The reason I say shout out to TD Miller, he highlighted that actually in the 7, it was there already. We also have it here, but they've made it wider that you can actually fit your finger in there quite easy. Whereas the 7 needed super focus, trying to get your finger through there. And by the time you got it through, it's like, well, might as well just go back to bed. Sticking with the heel, you're gonna see this little bit of Velcro here. Now, for me, it took me a while to discover what the heck that was for. But if you're out walking or running on trails where it gets muddy, they make these things called gaiters, what you put over the shoe, kind of protects the shoe from mud, all that kind of stuff. And this is that gator trap because it locks in and keeps that gator in place. It's a really, really nice touch. Very meticulous, tiny details, and I like that. And lastly, in terms of the heel, the padding and the feeling you get. Like I said, I walk in these shoes and they just feel sublime walking in. Let's talk about the tongue. And before I get to the gussetedness like I normally do, I touched on the tab on the tongue, which is an excellent touch. You don't normally see that on shoes. That helps to get the shoe on. But also running along the tongue, along here, that band allows you to feed the laces through, and it gives you a good lockdown in terms of the tongue and its fixed position. But let me get closer. The tongue has been gusseted on both sides. Proper gussetedness. Ultra, hey, come here. Hey, Brian, you, well done. Well done for gusseting the Ultra Lone Peak 8. The 7 was also gusseted. I'm just saying, well done for keeping it going. So let's talk about the lacing system, and shout out to T.D. Miller on this one again. Because look, he pointed out here in the Lone Peak 7, can you see the lacing system? Over here, when they tried to get all innovative, and they're not just normal holes, they've got these weird eyelet things. Don't get me wrong, for some people they work. For me, they don't. So in his overview, this T.D. Miller genius decided to point out that Ultra actually thought about people like me, and whilst they've maintained that thing, if it works for you, great. They've actually put holes in those things, making it work like normal eyelets. Thank you for considering that and making it work that way. That works for me. In terms of the laces themselves, great. But one thing I like that Ultra does is if you look at the bottom of the lacing system, let me move these laces out of the way. There. Now, I don't know if it's just a gimmicky thing, but I like the fact that when you actually do the laces, you can feel the tension pull all across that section. Nice touch. The one thing they've definitely changed across the two versions is the upper. I'll show you. If you look very closely, very closely, you can see that the mesh is very different. In the version A, they're calling it durable ripstop mesh because it stops rips. As always, I don't care for techie jargony terms. Essentially, all you need to know is they've made that without losing the breathability. They've made this mesh slightly tougher, and you can feel the texture of it. But to me, I like that they've done that without compromising on the weight too much, because that is 307, whereas this is now 309. While it's gone up, come on guys, it's 2 grams. Calm down. Another thing I like about the uppers on the Lone Peak series, if you look, you have that upper, but within the outside, on the lateral side, you can see how breathable that is, and it actually has some reinforced parts of the upper on the inside. Essentially, when you do up the laces, you can feel that pull and hold your foot in. I absolutely love that, and you actually feel it. It's not a gimmick. It's not a thing that you can see, but if you look through it, let me see if I can show you through this camera. You're gonna see on the inside of there, there's some parts inside there helping with that lockdown. Here is my criticism of this shoe. What could Ultra do to make this shoe perform better? The midsole. You see, this version is perfectly fine. It's 25 mil, and to me it feels minimalistic. That's why it's a perfect, easy to recommend walking shoe across all terrains. Pavement, road, when I take my little kids to the woods, perfect. It transitions across all those terrains perfectly. For running, Ultra makes the Via Olympus 2 on a foam called Ego Max, which I deem to be more cushioned than this one. They make it in a higher stack, 33 millimeters. This is 25. So for me, I would love to see Ultra not change the formula here, but either give us an Ego Max version of the Lone Peak 8 or higher stack, or even better, both. A higher stack Ego Max version of the Lone Peak 8. New Balance have done it in the More Trail V3 Ultra. Listen to me, bro. Before I move away from the midsole, for those of you not too familiar with trail running shoes, these shoes have a stone guard. Basically, it's a protection mechanism. That way, if you step on anything like stones, anything sharp, it won't protrude and go through into your foot, or even give you that sensation of doing so. I like that. Anything that they will do in terms of protection. In terms of protection, again, I should have touched on, one, the toe box has a protection. That toe section, it has this section here, and you're gonna see it's a different structure. That is there to protect you, just in case you run into roots, any stones, or anything like that. Okay, lastly, the outsole. Now, not much change from the previous one. They call it Max Track. You don't need to know that. All you need to know is it's got a very aggressive outsole. These lugs are exactly what you need in terms of trail running, if you're doing trail running. Whereas for me, it becomes even more needed because I actually walk in the woods. I go out with my family very often. We'll go on walks, I'll go on woods, I'll go on trails, and I'll be holding the hand of a little girl that's relying on me to not be slipping all over the place. And that is what the dads need. That is what the mom needs. Simple. I know the guys at Ultra didn't necessarily want me to highlight this shoe as a walking shoe because that's not what they've spent all the money and all the iterations building. But for me personally, when I'm out on walks with my family, picking up my son from school, I tell you what, I'm going with this. Look at it. And this colorway too. Don't try and tell me about this colorway that you don't like it, because this is exactly what it's about. I love it.